Well, hello, I'm Chris, and this is my TAMIYA Blitzer Beetle build video. Finally! I've messed this thing up so many times, so the focus on this body build is we're going to talk about mistakes I've made, things not to do, and how to eventually make it look okay. We're going to go over a little paint techniques and tips. I am not a master builder at all, and I'm not trying to act like I am. Hopefully one day I'll get pretty good. So this is my second hard body. The Grasshopper was the first, which is super simple, but this one involves painting details on it. Obviously it's a different color. I screwed the black paint job up horribly, had to sand every little bit back down, sprayed it yellow. Of course, not using TAMIYA paints. So I have a Beetle in real life. Let's go check it out. You know, so I have muscle cars, I have cool cars, but TAMIYA got me into Beetles. And I wanted a 70 through 72. That is a 72. So when we talk about the details, that's where they're coming from. We're only talking about that cars because we're going to talk about details that are not in the TAMIYA instructions on painting, so it looks more realistic. We got one coat on the running boards. Those are black. The instructions don't say anything about painting them. And this little piece of aluminum trim on the car is extremely difficult to paint. We're going to show you an idea how to kind of get it started. You want to mask this stuff off and airbrush it on there. I don't have my airbrush out right now. You're not going to freehand lines like that, but you see how masking those lines off and airbrush them, you're not going to have those crooked edges. This is going to be a basher, so it's okay. This piece has not been sanded or cleared. You see the difference of painting in the right temperature and humidity range, but these pieces are way better finished than this because I painted it when it was too hot. So I'm one of these people, I'm impatient sometimes, and I want to be able to freehand a lot of this paint. The truth is, if you want your model to come out perfect, don't even try to freehand anything. If you want this stuff to come out right, you have to have money. You have to spend money on different paint brushes, the correct paints. The TAMIYA paints are probably the best to get because they're water-based and you can clean them off with water. Do not make the mistake like I did to use oil-based paint pens trying to paint those lines and you mess up and then you screw your real paint job up. So let's go ahead and get this line over with. This is like the sketchiest thing to do. This is an oil paint pen and we might not be able to wipe it off. We have to use this fat tip because we want to ride on the top edge of that trim. Like I said, if we had our airbrush out here, we would mask that off. You can spray super light with airbrush and those lines will come out super perfect. But here's an idea. We're just going to try to stay on top of that line. That's as much as I'm going to do. We'll go back, fatten it up later. Taking the time to do this kind of stuff, your car will stand out. All right, so we just got some color on there. Just wanted to show you that it's sketchy using paint pens, and I would just avoid that if you can. But we do have that little line on there. It looks okay. So I bought expensive brushes, cheap brushes. You can freehand these. All of these on this car were freehanded. There's a little groove in there. But mask it off, hobby knife, airbrush is going to be the best results every single time. All right, so another thing is if you're using paints in a little jar, you need to get something, scrape the bottom and stir them up, because if you don't, they're not mixed well. They'll come out way too thin when you're painting and you won't know what's going on. So that's how the vent glass is on the real cars. So then go back from all eight. Ah! Okay, don't worry about that. We go back and touch that up with black paint. And then we have the little door handles. So on the Beetle, we have running boards. We're doing those in flat black. We have to go up to the body line of the car. Once again, you can mask. So what I would recommend doing is using your little fine brush. We're going to do our first coat going up to the edge on it. So on these first coats, the coverage isn't always that good. So just focus on making it even rather than the coverage. You're going to have to go back and put a second coat on this. So you see how it will dry flat, and then you go back with your second coat. So just keep going back like that and filling up the gaps, and we'll look at it here when it gets done. So let's just start putting everything on it. The mirrors, if you have a bunch of paint caked up on there, you're gonna have to file it. I did. They press in and they clip on the other side. So the Blitzer Beetle wants you to hand paint the colors of the lights. It comes with sand scorcher parts too. So what I did with a Dremel is I ground it all the way down until the sand scorcher smoke tail lights can go on there. Do that at your own risk. Remember, there is a left and right for these little tail light things. So hopefully, I mean, you don't screw your paint up. Dude, this glue right here is about 20 years old. Hopefully it still works. See if we can glue this license plate cover on there. Dang, you start getting the parts on it, it really, really looks good. So we're just gonna elevate it. When I say that, I just mean like that. And notice that line right there is not perfect because I hand painted it. Mask it off, airbrush it, and you will not have stuff like that, I promise you. Beautiful. Oh man, that's fancy. So the lights, very realistic. Those are popped in there. They screw down, so we just stick these in here. We don't have to glue them. That's just an alignment hole. Oh my God, that looks more realistic than the actual headlights on the car. Very crazy job on those. Nice. And then we're going to attempt to glue these little smoke lights on here, hopefully. We don't screw this up. Alright, we're just going to let that dry. Wipers on. I think we have to glue these. Alright, then we have the emblem. So on a Beetle, you have a little piece of that aluminum trim down the center of the hood. This one don't have it. Got the Volkswagen emblem on there. Can't put it on there wrong. Alright, it looks good. So you can rip the paint right off your model doing this step, so be super careful. The stickers, what I do is just cut a little bit off so that you can position your sticker where you want it exactly. This is going to be kind of a trick you want to put on there. So you get the idea. Let me go ahead and put the rest of the stickers on and the glass, and we'll look at the finished body here in a second. So I had to take the little mirrors off. You have to put the glass piece in there first. So this smoke piece of glass or plastic feels really, really high quality. Let's see how it changes the looks of our car. Does it make it look better? Or does it clash with the yellow? All right, so yeah, I put them on there a little low, but at least they're straight. 64 through 77 Beetles had a retractable sunroof just like this, and it would go in and it would hide under the roof, and then you would unscrew it back out and it would come out. So that is cool that it has that. So that's the same can of paint. I don't know why the colors came out different. It makes no sense. That piece was orange, but this piece was in the same primer as the body. But the only thing, they were painted about a year apart. So that was some Krylon paint. I'm never using that kind of stuff on these cars anymore. So I took some of that Tamiya yellow paint, and we got one coat on the stickers because the car was black, and these are some little stickers you can cover the holes up, the extra holes. Not sure how this body mounts yet, but just let you know, you can paint those stickers. So we just have the body propped up. I have the chassis build video coming next, and you see that once we got everything on there, this thing looks freaking cool. So I have another Blitzer Beetle body, and I bought more orange wheels, you can see. So in the future we will be doing the box car. But isn't it crazy how that one and this are the same thing? This looks like a real car. The beauty of this video is it is not painted perfect. That little chrome thing I did freehand, it is not perfect, but this thing, so we are 1 foot away from this thing the entire video. 2 feet away. So I finally got over my fear of painting the figures. That head and hat came painted already. There's the guy for this car getting ready. It's actually fun painting those, but you gotta have a bunch of them. So all this was painted by hand. These are the gas cans for the holiday buggy. So just wanted to show you what a failed body that I didn't give up on. And even though we have some discolored parts, this thing still looks awesome, and we were able to save it. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.